this storage rack inspired us to make a repotting setup for my wife. So today we're going to go ahead and make a workbench, about as high as 2 of these racks. So we're doing it 30 inches tall with the wheels below it. It'll be about 36 inches tall, and it's going to have room for the large drawers, these large Rubbermaid bins on the bottom, and then a smaller one on the top. And what we're going to do is we're going to make the top workbench have a hole in the top, so you can remove that. It'll have chicken wire down there, and you can repot plants, and the soil will fall into a smaller set of bins that'll be on the top shelf. Let's go ahead and cut up some of our wood and make this. Feels like it's going to be a pretty simple project. So I'm not real big on full-blown plans for something like this, but we have something that we can sort of look at. So I went ahead and I've taken this and I've just created a sketch. I have about a 64.5-inch piece going along the bottom. I have my uprights that are standing 30 inches tall, and we're doing that because 14 inches up we'll have the first Rubbermaid bin, 12 inches up we'll have the next one, just enough room for it to fit inside of that, and then we'll build a frame for the top. So we have all of our uprights, and in this particular case we need 8 uprights, 2 bases that go horizontally along the bottom, and now what we have to do is build all of the support. So if you think about each of these going upright, we need a support here and a support here, that these become drawers and they slide in. We have one up there too. So in that particular case, we actually need 12 of those. 2 on the outside, 4 on each of the inside beams. So let's go ahead and get those cut up. Those need to be 32 inches from front to back because of the size of these actual Rubbermaid bins. And I keep saying Rubbermaid. We actually bought them at Home Depot. Right now on 4th of July, they were on sale for $7.98 a bin. So good price for what we need. All right, I've got all of these 2x2s, so really 1.5 by 1.5, cut up. And again, these will become our supports that will go on each of the uprights that will allow the bins to slide in and out. Let's get these cut. With that, we have all of the uprights cut. Let's go get them back on the table and start organizing how we're going to do all this. All right, so now it's just going to be a matter of laying this out, and we're going to build these out like this, and they'll be connected together. These will become our supports. So the first thing we want to do is get all of these marked to make this easy. I'm a fan of the speed square. I think these things make it so much easier to do this kind of thing. Take these. And then we're going to have to do this on both sides of these, because each of these uprights will have a bin on either side of it, at least for the majority of them. If I were making a bunch of these, I'd probably make a template to do this easier and just cut one of these pieces at the lengths I need here. It'd probably make it easier, but that's not what I did, so be it. Now, for 8 of these, I need to do them on both sides. I'll lay these out as well. 2, 4, 6, 8. These we'll mark again. 14. All right, so double-sided mark, single-sided mark. Let's start assembling. It's now just a matter of laying these out. So I've got each of my boards marked, 14 inches up, 12 inches up. That's for the 2 different sized bins. I have all my cross supports cut, so I'm going to set these here. And now it's just a matter of attaching these guys together. So what I'm using is a speed square, kind of go along the side of my horizontal beam here just to make sure I get it right. And get that lined up. Make sure that I'm even on my side over here. And ready to go. Now, I'm just going to go ahead and do these all on one side, and then I'll bring them over, flip them around, and do some on the other sides as well. We've got our center pieces. And So we've got our center pieces where the bins will slide right in here. The another one, right? One bin that'll slide on the bottom, smaller bin on the top. We'll build a frame for the top side of this whole thing. This looks like it's going to be our legs. We probably ought to start assigning this or assembling this down to the base. But we should validate. I trust myself only so much. So I went ahead and assembled the bottom section here. Just stood up each of those legs and screwed them into a piece of wood. I'm now going to build the countertop part. When we're all done with that, over some wheels, we'll put some casters on it. But I'm going to go ahead and get this frame built for the top. I'm not going to put the actual top on yet because underneath one of these will be some chicken wire. So when you're repotting, it just goes kind of down inside. So it's 25 inches between these, and I'm going to go ahead and do some pocket screws. So let me mark these to build the frame here. I've got my 2x4s at 66 3/4, I think. I don't remember what it was. And I've got these marked for the 25-inch between these sections. So get these cut. All right, to make construction on this upper frame a lot easier, I'm going to use one of these Kreg tools that drills the angled hole in the bottom of these 2x4s, and that way I can run these right. You can sort of put them together like this, and you won't see the screws, pocket screws. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that. I've got my screwdriver for this particular one in, or the drill bit, I'm sorry. And this is as simple as line this guy up, clamp it in, and drill my holes. Now, I'm going to do this all on one side of these. Do this one here, and then I'll show you what it looks like. Now, I'll go ahead and show you a close-up of what these look like and how this little bit works. So this is really handy. Get a sense of what this looks like. You can see we just run the screws, go right at an angle into that. That way I can set these right there and attach them real quick and easy. I'll show you how simple this thing is to use. Essentially, you put your 2x4 or whatever you're using. I happen to have mine configured here for a 2x4. And then you just clamp this down. That holds it in place. And then it's as simple as running your drill right into each of these holes. Now everybody's got their own way of doing these. The way I like to do it is use these little clamps. And I do this because it kind of helps me hold everything in place. I'm just going to take this, take my piece of wood, set the two together. I'm going to loosely clamp it. And I'm going to do the same on the other side. This way I know it's going to be held even when I start applying pressure. All right. Get that one held pretty tight. And that one's fairly tight. And now, it really is just a matter of taking the special bit that's just for these pocket screws. I've got 2.5-inch long ones here, and we're going to run them right into this joint. I'm going to go back to a speed 1 here. There we go, and that is in. Now I'm going to flip this around. I'm going to do the same thing on the other side, and I decided to go ahead and do an extra support right in the middle of this. I'll show you that in just a moment. Now I'm going to put this other side in first, and then I'm going to go back here and I'm going to apply some pressure while I assemble that side. Make sure my edges are nice and aligned. By the way, this is going to be the frame for the countertop itself on this, this gardening table.
After a little design consultation with the prospective owner / my wife, we went ahead and made a few changes here. She shared with me how she's going to use this replanting screened area where the potting soil can drop back down into this top drawer. So I went ahead and measured the size of the drawer, where I needed some slides, where I needed additional support, as well as where I needed to put some beams that I could attach the chicken wire to that will act as a surface when the lid is open. You'll see more of that in just a moment. But it was a matter of cutting a couple of additional pieces here to go as cross members, use the pocket hole jig, and pop them in place. This is nearing completion. I went ahead and built this section over here. I'm going to put some chicken wire on the bottom of this, and then I'll flip this top over, attach it on. I have wood to cover the top with inserts that will go over this, and this will allow Deb, when she's, imagine this here, I'll finish it in a minute, but imagine she's repotting plants. She has her small bin right in here. She has opens up these two panels, repots it. The dirt just falls right down below into this drawer that has all of her potting soil in it. And then the rest of this will all be a tabletop. When the wheels come tomorrow, because I forgot to order them, I'll flip this whole thing over, put the wheels on it, flip it back up right, and then I'll mount the back that'll have pegboard area for her to hang her little shovels and rakes and all that kind of stuff on. But yeah, this will be nice and easy. And she can roll this around. It'll sit in the back part of the garage. We'll show you as we wrap it up here in a few minutes. I'm going to run to the store and pick up the chicken wire. All right, our next step here is to get this chicken wire, or whatever you want to call it. Cage wire is what it's called, but it's like chicken wire, just a little more sturdy. So once unrolled, we just used some U-shaped nails and nailed this down very tightly along the bottom side of this particular frame. So here's the table. I'm going to wait. I'm also going to build a backing on that side with some pegboards on it, but I'm going to wait and do that until my casters get here. That way it's easy to flip this upside down. But this will be Deb's planting stand, and she can have these big bins full of all her planting supplies. These will just slide into each one of these, and then the top ones right below here actually use a slightly smaller bin. I don't have them here right now, they're sitting over there. But what's nice about this is when she's ready to do some replanting, let me show you what this looks like. So you can just put her pot right here. It sits on top of some chicken wire, and as she's filling the pot, she can just shake any off, let it go down into that bin right below it, and then this can just pull right out, and she's got it kind of ready to go. But I'll mount some pulls on these to make them a little easier. Right now, they just fit right down in here, and that way she can still use this as a good solid bench, and then when she needs to do the replanting, she can just pop those up. Somewhere, I have a bin full of boat parts, and I know I have some hatch latches that I can just sort of route out the edge there, mount, and then she can just pop these up and out of there. But all right, this is pretty good. I'll get a couple of quick shots of video when I get the casters on the bottom, and then I've got the pieces already cut that are going to be screwed right on the back here, and a bracket that goes across here, and then she can put pegboard or whatever she wants to on that. Deb has her replanting table. All right, that's the almost final product. It needs to be painted, and the wheels don't get in till tomorrow, but you can see it's got a little pegboard. I put LED lights up here, and they weren't quite bright enough, so I found these old lights that we used to have on the spreaders of the mast, and I just mounted them there, so when Deb's using the table, it's good. And then here's what's kind of cool. I got a latch in here, but she can open that up and then just slide this drawer out. This will have her topsoil in it. She slides that in, repot her plants right here, and all that soil just goes right down into the bin. So that'll be kind of handy. There you go. Anyway, a project like this really isn't that hard. Quite frankly, a couple of trips to Home Depot or Lowe's, if I'd have drawn plans out, maybe I could have saved a trip or two, but pretty easy to do. I don't know, this thing probably cost, let's say with the bins, 50, maybe 180, maybe $200. Maybe $220 with the casters. Not a bad deal. All right, see y'all next time. But it goes with all of our other bin holders over here.